Welcome back to Field to Plate. Man, we're rock and rolling this season. It's great to be back, like we've said. Great to be back filming for MTTV here and getting some stuff going. Today is going to be such an awesome day. Everything you see here, as far as produce, steak, potatoes, even these eggs. I probably won't use these eggs today, but I want to show you how nice they look. They come from Fannon's Produce. They're one of our sponsors over there. We've did a show, I think last year before, actually went over and did some shopping. Beautiful country eggs. Got some blue, brown. They got white ones. But I just want to showcase those. Instance, we're probably going to have steak left over. Tomorrow morning, make you some steak and eggs. There you go. These tomatoes come from Fannon's. Awesome. Nice for this time of year. Some yellow and red tomatoes. We're going to be doing a little Greek feta cheese salad after a while with those. Go with our steaks. We're going to do a simple sliced in half potato on a griddle. Just bake it, cook it till it's done. A little brown butter sauce, salt and pepper, something simple. We're going to do a little grilled asparagus with a honey Dijon crema sauce with it to kind of put on the side. First thing we need to do, of course, is two things we got going on right now. I got my oven set to 500 for the steaks. I got two iron pans in there, two iron skillets. If you have one big one, of course, use it, but our steaks are big. I'm doing two simple ones. Inside steaks, we got this handy dandy new grill pan, redone. So we're going to use that on our steaks. We're going to try to get us some good seared grill marks as the goal. We're going to sear each side. We're going to put a little butter on it, and we're going to transfer it to the oven to finish cooking, get up to the temperature we want inside there, depending on what you like on that. So that's the first step where we're going to start it. We're going to make one blackened steak and then one with just simple salt and pepper. I'm simple when I do my steaks. I don't like to marinate. If it's a good steak, it don't need to be set and marinate for 24 hours and soak in a lot of salt and Worcestershire sauce. I mean, it's just, you can't correct a bad steak, a bad cut. I mean, you'll still taste it. So you want to enhance the flavor of meat, and usually salt and pepper is plenty enough to do that. So we're going to try our new grill pan out today. Actually, a blessing today. Let me switch out here to this whiteboard real quick so I don't dirty up that one. So it's actually nice today. I got to go to JSW Chop Shop, located on the Wolf Morgan County line. Got hand pick the ribeye I wanted, and they actually sliced me 2-inch steaks. Go and check Jonathan and the guys over there. They got a really nice front counter unit, deli unit where you can get steaks, frog legs, catfish, chicken, pork chops, bacon, sausage, snack sticks, summer sausage, cheese, lunch meat. They cover it all. Go and check them out. Then on my way back, 10 minutes later, 5, I was at Fannon's getting potatoes and tomatoes. You can't beat it. So what we're going to do with the steaks, we're going to take a little olive oil. It don't take much. Okay, I got some melted butter, and we're going to be braising the steaks and stuff like that, so it's fine to use the same brush. It's got a little butter on it. We just want to go around all of our steak, get this olive oil butter mixture on it. We're going to flip them over. Go a little more olive oil. So we're only going to use the butter on the meat. So if you see me putting the brush back into the butter, this melted butter is not going to be used but nothing but cooking with. So don't go on fatigue. Oh no, he's putting the brush back in there because that's all we're using it for. Just meat only. It ain't going on no produce, no vegetables, nothing like that. I always just keep me a pan of melted butter. I can braise it or brush steaks with as we go. So we got some sea salt. Generously salt the meat. And the reason why I say that because we got a 2-inch steak here. So the top's fine if it's real salty, peppery, because you got to take the flavor through the meat. So that's fine. Don't coarse black pepper. And I kind of just pat it in. I'll go around the edges a little bit. I mean, take your time seasoning your steaks good. Don't just put a little bit on it and go on. And I always let my steak come up to room temperature. It relaxes the meat. It cooks better, and it's not as bad. So always lay your steaks out. You know, it's a big no-no. You don't want to do your hamburger because the deal with that hamburger is ground. So every part of it can take air. You get contaminated, obviously, over time. A steak sears outside, and that stuff cannot penetrate down in the meat, so it's fine to let your steaks come up to room temperature. Okay, add me a little bit of blackened seasoning. I like blackened seasoning on my steak. Believe it or not, one of my favorite steaks used to be, and they don't serve it no more, is a ribeye that come from Texas Texas Roadhouse. And it was actually a blackened ribeye, and it was by far one of my favorite steaks. So I'm going to do a take on that recipe today. You will get a little smoke cooking the steaks like this. It's just part of it. I mean, it just happens. Cooking this kind of steak. These steaks are, marbled great. So we're doing a blackened steak. So we got plenty of seasoning on there. And I'll add just a hair of garlic, a little bit of garlic to it. Not much. Okay. We're going to see what our grill pan looks like. Let me wipe my olive oil and seasoning from my hands. Hey, our grill pan's hot. That's what we want. So we're going to put the steaks down. We want grill marks. So we're going to put these babies down in here like this. And the only reason it smoked the butter flame point, it got hot. So, but it will, it is going to smoke some. We can't help that. So actually these need to be probably about 5 minutes on each side. I'm going to turn our vent on our oven. So hopefully y'all can still hear me up there. And I could say we'd leave this in the grill pan, but what's going to happen when we leave it in the grill pan, and then I can't do my asparagus in that. So we'll transfer it to the oven in a minute. Might be a good time to tell them to turn the smoke alarm off. But that's part of cooking a steak inside. Look already, that's what we're wanting. That is just picture perfect. So we get this side like that, and then we're just going to transfer these in the oven, finish cooking. Point blank. So, excuse me, seasoning stuff. Next thing we're going to make is a compound butter. It's going to go on our steak. So it's simple. It's just going to be some pink sea salt. I use parchment paper, a stick of butter. We're going to put a lot of salt on it, like that. That's enough of that. We're going to do a little rosemary in it. It's a herb butter. And just a touch of garlic. And this will follow that through the thing. So when we do herb butter, you really just want to take your hand, you just work it in there like that. We just work all the herbs in there, You can actually just take your hands easy, just get all of it in there, work it in. Them steaks look awesome. And I suggest you get a good grill pan. Then whenever you get it all worked in, you see how soft that is. Just take your parchment paper, roll it back up tight, make you a circle like that all the way up. When you tighten the ends down each way, open the freezer up, throw it in there and let it get cold till you get ready to eat. That's it. It's done. Let's turn these back over. If you want cross marks, all you gotta do is put them back in there like that. And then I'll show you in a minute what it does. This is really a simple dish. The steaks take the longest. If you did half-inch steaks, of course, it ain't gonna take near as long on it. So, we're actually going to get these ready. I want to show you all. They make bigger grill pans. You can get round grill pans, or you can get rectangular grill pans that can go like a double burner, and you can actually put 4 or 5 steaks on it real easy. And if I wasn't going to be cooking asparagus later, then I would be just throwing my grill pan in the oven. So while those are doing that, we're going to turn around and we're going to get our iron skillets out. Those are extremely hot. And I'm actually going to turn that down just a little bit. We'll put it back on about 300 because our pans are hot where we want them at. We'll put this little olive oil in the bottom of them just to keep them from burning. I mean, that's the perfect steak. I mean, just look how marked it is like that. I mean, that's what you're wanting. Can y'all see that? I mean, that's just beautiful. I mean, you just can't get a prettier looking steak than that. I actually want to take my phone out of my pocket and look at it and take a picture of it so I have it later, but we'll do it later on this evening. So, we want to get those same cross hatches on that. And like I said, we've been doing this, 5 minutes maybe, 10, and they're about ready to put in the oven. Yeah, look, I mean, it's just perfect. So, we're going to finish searing them off in there. We're going to turn our grill pan off. We're going to put these in the oven. These pans are hot, so don't mistakenly grab hold of them with your hand thinking, not thinking nothing about them. So, we're going to finish them in the oven. Grill pan's off. We'll take this, actually set it off the burner so it cools off. We'll do asparagus on that in a minute. Okay, our griddle's next. We're going to turn it on about medium heat. We'll do asparagus last. I hate overcooked asparagus. When it gets mushy, we're not going to do that. We're going to do asparagus the right way. So, we got these really nice potatoes. And all you want to do on these, we're going to keep this simple. We're going to cut them in half. Make sure this pan's getting hot while we're doing that. So, just cut them perfectly in half. And I want to do a mixture. I want some color in this dish. I don't want all yellow, red. I mean, we're showcasing some really nice steaks. So we want to make it look good. The potatoes has already been washed. So we're going to brush. I lied to you, but it's still heat, so it's going to anything. What I meant to say earlier, everything this touches is going to be heat, so it's going to cook. Always have you a dish of butter when you're cooking steaks and potatoes. Brush, simple. And we'll brush the steaks here in a little bit. So we're going to get this started. It's fine if you put potatoes on there with a little cooler like that, because it's going to heat up. And we want to brown this side, so we're going to leave them down the whole time like this. And this is actually getting ready to go in the oven too and finish. We'll leave them on here for a while just to cook. But we got about the perfect amount of potatoes. I think we can fit them all on there. So tomorrow morning when you're doing steaks and eggs with what potatoes you have, make you a hash. Cut them up small squares, butter, hash, eggs, leftover steak. Have a heck of a meal tomorrow. Put this over to the side. We're done with the potatoes. Let's make a enough room, get this little fella in there so he can be getting brown. Lightly season these. The steaks is going to be seasoned. We're going to have a compact butter we're going to be putting on it. So we don't want to over season everything. So this little pepper. I mean, very little, don't take much. Get down in there. There we go. A little bit of salt. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with the potatoes. So we'll get them browning. And you kind of be a little careful with them. The tops are going to cook. The bottoms is where we want all the brown at. So we'll just let them sit there and cook for a little while like that. When we come back, we're going to start the asparagus. And we're going to do us a little tomato salad and go ahead and get it in the refrigerator. And I'm going to clean up my prep area. So when we come back, we can do our cold stuff and get it ready to go so we can serve in a little bit. So welcome back. We're going to prep our tomatoes for a cold salad. It's not really caprese because I'm not using mozzarella. I'm doing more of a feta route. Feta cheese. I love feta cheese with my steak. I don't know if y'all have ever tried it. We've been on a kick, and I like blue cheese. Everyone don't like blue cheese, but we're on a kick that we usually like, especially a filet. We'll take a little feta cheese and put on top of it, and it's just delicious with it. Try it if you haven't. See if you like it. You may open a new door. Nice knives. Wusthof makes great kitchen knives. Sharp. I suggest, and I've suggested before, buy you a good kitchen knife. We want to make about around 1/4 inch slices. Like I said, these are good tomatoes. And we want our tomatoes to be nice and cold when we serve them. They're probably a little under 1/4 inches sliced, but that's alright. I don't want to serve no green part. If it gets up in there, it gets a little green. Tomatoes has been washed. I like doing a combination of different colors because it gives you some variety to the plate. So, and I'm sure we're going to have several people eating here, so we can do a nice little. I switched our potatoes to stovetop behind me, just so they cook a little quicker. And I'm still using the griddle, but I put a frying pan cap over it as the lid so it holds heat in and cooks them a little quicker, because we obviously want our potatoes done. Another option you have with potatoes, you can parboil them a little bit before you fry them, and they're already that much closer to being done. So we'll check them here in a minute. We want them brown, but we don't want to burn them. So I'm actually not going to step away from the camera, but I want to step back here and kind of show y'all what I'm talking about. See, they're brown, and that's what we want. We want that brown crisp on them. So they're doing fine. We're going to put them back on here. They're not burnt. That steam, you can see steam coming in water, so that's going to help them cook better. I got it on about medium heat, so I feel comfortable with that. We'll leave it. A story behind this cast iron, one of my best pals got into doing cast iron, bought a collection, and he did it so all of his kids would have a complete set one day when they get older and get married. So he's cleaned up and selling it, and he hooked us up with a real nice grill pan and a griddle. And so I was thankful for that, and we're going to use it here on the show. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, buddy, John Stanifer. And so he don't sell a whole lot, but if you do have something you're looking for, and there are many others that sells cast iron, there are a lot of local people that deals in that. Go out and find you a good set of cast iron. You've seen what the grill pan, it's just awesome. You've seen the grill marks. If that doesn't sell you, nothing will. Look how pretty this salad's going to be. And summertime tomatoes, goodness gracious, you take you some good old Better Boy tomatoes. They're real good summertime tomato. And put that on there, some salt and pepper, a little feta cheese. You couldn't ask for nothing better. We'll put the feta cheese on and the balsamic vinegar right at the end because we don't want it to get too, So right now, I'm going to do me a little pepper. So it's already seasoning a little bit. Very little. And I like using coarse ground pepper. It just does better. And we're going to do just a little bit of salt on them. Like that. And a touch of garlic. Just a little sprinkle of garlic. That's it. Bam. We're done with that. And for the time being, we're going to set this in the refrigerator and just let them chill. Olive oil. Where did my olive oil go? Here it is. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil on them. And that'll let all this marry and get cold. So, just a little bit. Just let it drip out. You don't want to cover it in olive oil. That's plenty. You don't want to over season them because we're going to be putting some balsamic vinaigrette in a little bit. So we want to put our tomatoes in here where they stay good and cold. Now onto the asparagus. Let me check the potatoes once more before we get to the asparagus. And you can check your potatoes by just taking a knife and poking the top of them, and they're getting fairly close to being done. They're pretty tender. You might want to look at them because you don't want to burn them, but you might want to look at them and maybe move some of them around. One of the ones that's not hardly as brown, put in the center. Those are fine. Those are fine. Just flip them around. Just kind of like take a look at them. That one we want to move a little bit because that one's about where we want it at. That one we can flip right over there. This one in the center. That one's about where we want it. We'll just flip it on its top. We'll bring this one over there and get it brown. So what you're trying to do, you just want to look at them and make sure you get them where they're not burnt. That one's good and done. So, the potatoes are getting pretty close. We're going to take the steaks out in a little bit and let them rest. And it won't be long we'll be eating. So we'll put these back on the stove. Cap them back over with your other pan as a lid. The steak should be getting super close to being done. They make lids for these two. So if you want to look at the steaks again, we'll get them out before we do the asparagus. You can also tell by a steak, by touching it, how soft and dense it is where it's done at. I'd say these are getting to about a medium rare. So I think we're just going to turn the oven off and let them finish cooking and resting while we're finishing up. These are just beautiful. So yeah, we don't want to cook them a lot longer. So we're actually going to turn the top oven off, push cancel, and just let them set and rest. Asparagus. Our grill pan, we need to put it back on hot. It's fine if you got a little bit of the steak seasoning still in your grill pan like that. It's not going to hurt a thing. When I do asparagus, we've already cleaned it. What I call clean, take the tough end off. So I just take it, and wherever it snaps and breaks at, that's all you do. And it's ready to go. So while our grill pan's getting hot, we're going to do a little bit of a sauce with this. I got some crema from last week that we used. Some honey Dijon mustard, about, not hardly half and half, probably quarter to that. We're going to do a little bit of blackened seasoning. We want to keep a little bit of that tone going all the way through the dishes. So I got me a little, this is fine. Just mix that together. And you may not like this sauce if you don't. Another good way to cook asparagus, little lemon juice, salt, sea salt, olive oil, and we'll do something like that too. And we'll actually serve the sauce on the side. If you don't want the sauce, don't eat it, just eat. It'll be sea salt, lemon juice, and that. So I think our potatoes are getting pretty close to being done. I can finish smelling them there. We're actually going to turn them off, set them to the side, and just let them finish cooking. So that's where we want them at right there. And you can tell they're just all the way brown all the way through. So, and that's what we're looking for. They should be perfectly done, and they are. So we're good on the potatoes. We'll actually just flip them over. Once they get to that point of being done, it don't take no time and they're cooked. So we just want a good brown crust like that. If they're one or two overdone, it's alright. Don't just cut it off. This crust to come off real easy. But for most part, I want them good and brown, because when you get all the way in it, it's going to be white. So it's only brown right there. So we're going to put these right back there. Just let them set on our bread that we're going to put in right now. It's just a French loaf cut in slices with butter on it and a little bit of garlic. That's all we want. And we just want the butter to melt down through it, get it hot and toasty, and it's done. So we're going to put it in the bottom oven. Let it be cooking and getting done. Transfer our potatoes over there. Put your skillet lid back on it so they stay hot. The cast iron to keep it hot. You won't have to worry about keeping it hot. We got our dipping sauce, and I want to taste this. I think it's really good. Like you want to dip it, so I'm going to leave it where it's at. We're going to put our asparagus in here and let it be grilling. I mean, you can just dump it in there. You're going to be rolling it around anyways. And please do not overcook your asparagus. You do not want your asparagus mushy when you eat it. I know you probably went to restaurants and it's just like mush. That's not how asparagus needs to be cooked. So it's going to take us a minute to get our grill pan up. In the meantime, we're going to cover it in a little olive oil like that. Let it grill. And on top of that, all we really want to do is just a little bit of ground salt, very little. And we'll hit it with a little more olive oil when we get done and serve the sauce on the side. So, bread's in the oven, steaks are resting, potatoes are done, asparagus is grilling. When we come back, we're going to plate up and eat. So we're ready to do our steakhouse masterpiece. What I was talking about asparagus, you don't want them smushy, because you want them about like that, where they're just tender and cooked through. And I tried them, they are good. Like I said before, smushy asparagus is horrible. So you don't want that. So we're going to take these off, and I kind of lay them on the end. I'm going to plate all this up on one plate. You can help yourself. These steaks are so thick, they're going to feed more than one person, obviously. Okay, so our asparagus there. Let's take this and put back here. That'll heat and clean itself off. I mean, the steam will take the thing. That's what you want to do as soon as you can. Our potatoes are going to be next. We're going to lay them out just like that. Like I said, everything's just so simple. We'll do a couple rows of potatoes. And these was cooked on our griddle, cast iron griddle. Trust me, when you get cooking your own steaks like this, you probably ain't gonna go to the steakhouse much. Just that simple. Okay, so we got a couple sauces that you know of. You do not have to eat this on your asparagus. I would put it on the side just to dip it in it. We'll take a little bit out and just put it right on the edge like that. If you want to dip it in it, you can. That's simple. Okay. We're going to finish our tomato salad. So what we showed you first, we cut our tomatoes, arrange them, salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil. Now we're going to do our aged balsamic vinaigrette on it. If you don't care, get you something, just whisk it up because sometimes they'll separate. So I kind of use a spatula so I don't drown them in it. And just put it over it. And if you want more, you can always add more. This is not a caprese because we're not using Capri salad because we're not using mozzarella cheese. We're using feta cheese. We got one more steak still on broil in the oven because we're cooking one medium rare and then one a little more done. So, okay. So that has that finished. Our potatoes. Let me grab a spoon. It's easier. So we're just going to put a little bit of sour cream, just a little daub on them. You want them on it. You don't have to do this. I just like a little bit of sour cream only on them, because we've already got potatoes and stuff on them. So they'll melt down on them a little bit, and that's what you're wanting done. Just use the back of your spatula is fine, like that. And this just melts kindly on them. If you want more, you can add that or butter to them. Okay. So that takes care of the sour cream on them. Of course, now we want to put our feta cheese on our tomato salad. Like that. I love feta cheese with steak. It's like I said before, it's one of our favorite combinations. So that's our little summer salad with it, instead of having like a, salad, lettuce and stuff. We're going to have that one. This steak is going to be on the medium rare side. Our other one is right here in the oven. And it's cooking, so it's going to be cooked a little bit longer. And it's going to be more to done. You can tell by touching it what it's like. And I'll show you the difference when we slice them right now. So, our bread is also done. Like I said, all we want on our bread, we sliced it like that, put butter, a little bit of garlic on it, that's it. Simple. We'll plate that up next. So, you always want to cut across the grain with your steak. We'll cut the fatty part off right here. I'll eat that one later. That's my favorite part. You can trim this up if you want to. I mean, to me, this is cooked perfect. That's how I like steak. Even, I can eat it a little more done than that. I leave the fat on it. If you don't like fat, just slice it off. And I do it family style. I'm just going to slice it a little bit like that. Actually, I told y'all wrong. Let's slice it the wrong way. Don't tell nobody. We'll edit that off. But anyways, just slice it up. It's nice to have a good sharp knife. We're going to get into the fattier pieces. I mean, how you're serving it. Someone wants a little fat on it, they have it. If they don't, take it off. I like a ribeye steak because I think that's where the flavor is. My wife likes a fillet because they're tender and good, which they are. The fille's a good steak. But I like having that texture in there. But it's very easy to cut the fat out of it if you don't like the fat. So that's my favorite way to cook it. Okay, here's one that's a little more done for those that don't like as much red. So we'll slice it up, and I'll do this one more lean. This is for the picky. This is for the back crowd that's picky. So we'll slice this all the way around. We'll get all the fat off of it. You know, that's a pretty lean cut of steak, and it's more to the medium well for those that don't like it well done, or don't like it raw. So it's more of a medium steak. If you get beyond that, count me out. I'll eat a hamburger. So we're going to plate this one up next. You ain't seen the best part yet. This will be all sliced in a minute, so don't think we're wasting it. So of course y'all knew we made the compound butter. Herb butter with salt, pepper, and herbs. Rolled back up and move you a piece of your board off. Cut you some slices of it like that, thin so it melts. You want it to melt real quick. You want it super thin. So if you see that, you see all the herbs and seasoning on it. Generously lay this on your steak, because it's going to melt over it and infuse all that butter and herbs back on it. Mix it in with it, like put some down in it so it just melts all the way through. You can make this herb butter with anything. I mean, you can literally add whatever you like to add to it. There is my steakhouse dinner tonight, guys. We got our asparagus and sauce, lemon or salad, and I'm actually going to taste test this. And if I was doing it at home, there'd be always a little more feta cheese on top of it, like that. So that's how I'm going to do it. I mean, to me, this is a perfectly cooked piece of steak. Medium rare like that. A little bit of herb butter. Asparagus. I mean, it's so good. Excellent. So tender. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's show. This is just a simple way I like to cook steak on a grill pan oven, or a simple salad. It's coming summertime. Remember, tune in to MTTV. Check out our shows. Check out our recipes. I think David's going to start filming this week also, so he'll be right there with me. And check it all out. A lot of good upcoming things. Remember, your local provider internet. All these recipes being posted online. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate seeing y'all out in public. Like I always tell y'all, you come up to me, I may not know, you'd be like, hey, I saw you on that show, I tried, I like it. That encourages me, makes me happy. I love doing what I'm doing, and I appreciate the opportunity they give me here at MTV to do this. Thanks. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good week.